Well, what have we got going on today, man?
We're gonna do a little game, man. I think this is gonna be fun, and if people are watching, hopefully they're gonna be able to go along with me. I'm gonna give you 20 different things to compare that are BMX related, and I want you just, without thinking too much, I want you to be able to just tell me what your choice would be, and then I want to go through these myself and see how. I'll go through your answers and tell you how much I agree with you. Well, I'll just do you that way. Now, so in other words, let's say I'm going to go, do you like, I'll just give you an example, cold coffee or hot coffee? What do you prefer?
Hot coffee.
There you go. So we're just going to do it just like that, okay? So go with your gut, Kevin. Don't sit there and go, oh, I don't know. Oh, you're frozen. Let me give you a chance to catch up to me. Kevin usually has way more to say. There he is. Are you back?
Hey, we're going to go through the list, and then we're going to go back and address what we said?
Yeah, so I'm going to go through these 20, and I'm going to get your first impression, your gut feeling about it. And then I'll go back through it, and I'll tell you how much I agree with you or disagree with you or whatever, and then we can have some dialogue.
We got to come up with a name for this game. What are we going to call this?
Man, I just wrote random comparisons because I don't have a name for it yet, but we'll have to come up with the name, okay? Yeah, because this will be fun to do with other people as they come on the show if we don't feel like playing trivia. Okay. Yeah. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Most buff, Pete or Sean?
What?
The most buff 80s right racer, Pete or Sean?
Sean.
Okay. Most stylish, Billy Griggs or Mike King?
Mike King.
The GOAT, Greg or Gary?
Greg.
Rad or BMX Bandits?
Rad, even though I've never seen it.
Best team, GT or Diamondback?
GT.
Freestyle or race?
Race.
Flight pads or California Lights?
California Light.
Checkers or no checkers?
No checkers.
Street tires or knobbies?
Knobbies.
Color tires or black tires?
No color tires, black.
Fast, Mike Miranda, fast or stylish?
Stylish.
Most 80s pros, steroids or clean?
Clean.
Anderson brothers or Patterson brothers?
Patterson brothers.
King brothers or Root brothers?
King brothers.
CW or GT?
GT.
Redline or profile cranks?
Profile.
Tabletops or doubles?
Doubles.
Open face or full face?
Open.
Dirt turns or paved turns?
Dirt.
Tuck wheels or Z rims?
Z rims, dude.
Freewheel or coaster brake?
Oh man, free will.
You did it. All right. So that's just kind of an example, man. And I came up with these in literally like 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's pretty easy because there's so many things in these magazines. Now I just want to go through these answers with you. Let's talk about it.
Now the good part's going to go. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Hey, so a lot of these I was agreeing with you, by the way. Okay. My first question was, who's the most buff? Was it Pete Lonkarovich or Sean Texas? You said Sean Texas. On that, I agree. So I do agree on that one because Sean was massive, man. Yeah, and Pete right now is super lean. Did you see him at Dirty Fest?
Yeah.
He
gave me a side look like, I think you look familiar.
Yeah. I met him at, I think I told you, I think it was at Summer Nationals in Roseville. He's a nice guy. Okay, I said most stylish, Billy Griggs or Mike King. That is a tough one. I would have said Billy Griggs, but you said Mike King on that one. Why do you think Mike King, by the way?
I don't know. I can't answer that, dude. And now that I think about it, I would use the word smooth, I guess. I mean, maybe I superimposed in my brain the word smooth over stylish.
Right.
And maybe that's what I thought. Mike King was a little bit more smooth. They're both very similar riders, I would think.
Very similar. Very similar. There's so many, like when you look at Mike King and you look at Billy Griggs, Mike King had a more successful career as, national number one, amateur national number one pro. But as far as consistency, being on the top of that podium, Billy Griggs was always there. And their bikes were similar setups, and they're both super stylish. So that was a tough one, dude.
Can you imagine being at dinner after the races with the King family and they're talking BMX and who's faster? And I wonder, did they ever race each other? I mean, did they ever compete as pros or amateurs?
Are you talking about Griggs and King, or
the King brothers?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I think Eddie King retired, I want to say 89, I think, because he went and did real estate or something like that. And Mike was on the rise at the time. So it wouldn't have been a fair comparison because, Eddie's older. And Mike was just at the beginning of his blowing up his career, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But that would be cool because I asked, when I interviewed Ronnie the first time, I asked him, I said, have you ever raced Richie? And he goes, no, he never raced Richie on the track. I mean, competitively. And I was like, wow. And he was really surprised. He's like, well, no one's ever asked that question before. And I thought it was kind of strange. Like,
really?
You never raced your brother? No.
I feel like I've seen them in photos together. But
that's what he told me.
That's crazy. How did they avoid that? You know what I mean?
Well, I think Ronnie's 2 years older than he is, right? So Ronnie would have turned pro while he was still amateur, and Richie turned pro, right? Eventually.
Richie was racing pro, and they were racing pro in the same era, but
maybe. Next time I talk to Ronnie, I'll ask him.
Yeah, no. That's really interesting, though. Okay, I asked who's the GOAT, Greg Hill or Gary Ellis? You picked Greg Hill.
Yeah.
I agree, but why do you think Greg Hill over Gary Ellis?
I think Greg Hill set the course for Gary to follow.
Good answer, my dude. I like that, man. Because I was going to say, well, Gary's got definitely more wins. I mean, Gary had 4 or 5 ABA titles, but Greg's got a ton of NBL, USBA titles as well. And Greg had issues with ABA, so we won't even get into that. But I agree with Greg. I don't know, if somebody tells me 80s BMX, who's the best? Greg. 90s BMX, who's the best? Maybe Gary. I don't know, because Gary was still going in the 90s, right?
Yeah,
he had to be, yeah. So maybe different eras. All right, the next one was Rad versus BMX Bandits. You picked Rad, and you haven't seen Rad. So what was your reasoning behind that?
I don't know, dude. At one point, I kind of liked BMX Bandits, but it's annoying, dude. It's annoying. And all I can say is it can't be Rad can't be any worse than BMX Bandits, so I picked Rad.
I picked Rad too because, well, we're American, one, and then when you watch. Here's a real big reason. When you watch Rad, it had a lot of mainstream pros that were very popular at the time in the movie. When you watch BMX Bandits, there's some good riders in there, but nobody that we really know. I think that's why I would lean towards Rad. They're both corny in their own sense, but the BMX Bandits storyline's really not that bad. It's entertaining, You
made a good point. What makes Rad better is the guys that really race were in the movie. There you go.
Yeah. All right. I said best team, GT or Diamondback. You picked GT.
That may have been a premature answer.
All right. What do you now that you're not under the gun? What do you think?
Okay. Let's just do our top 5 riders for each team and see how they stack up. All right.
Okay.
Top AB. Okay. Top Diamondback Pro, Harry Leary. Top GT Pro, Greg Hill.
Greg Hill or Gary Ellis, one of those two. Yeah.
I would put it back in the same era as Greg.
Okay.
I go with Greg.
Right.
All right. Second on the team, Eddie King. You put Eddie King up against who would be his competitor on GT? Who would it be? Rob Fade
Rob Fade.
Rob Fade?
Yeah, for that era. Yeah. You could say Rob Fade, or you could say Tommy Brackens, because Tommy was GT too.
Yeah.
You know what's missing about Diamondback is Diamondback put all their eggs in one basket in the early 80s. You got Eddie King, you got Harry Larry. Those are your guys. I mean, later on, Doug Davis came up. I think Rick Palmer was a Diamondback pro. And then you had Charles Townsend. You know, I mean, later on, but for the longest time, man, you know, they had those two dudes. And where Diamondback had a lot of pros.
You mean GT?
Yeah. Or GT, excuse me. So GT had, you know, Greg Hill, Gary Ellis, Rob Fade, Tommy Brackens. You know, there was a lot of great amateurs on GT.
I guess I was right. Yes, GT would be better.
I would say, yeah. It comes down to preference, obviously, you know. But again, I agreed with you. Okay, the next question. This is related to the 80s, obviously. I said freestyle or race. That's an easy one. You picked race. Was there anything about 80s freestyle that you did like, or did you feel it was gimmicky? What did you think about that?
Oh, I raced. I mean, I rode freestyle every weekend when I went to Pipeline to race. Pipeline, the famous Pipeline skate park in Upland, they had a track.
Okay.
And before and after races, we used to ride the bull, all that stuff. And I had a quarter pipe in my driveway, and I did freestyle tricks. I had nothing against freestyle. I just didn't want all those frame standers and all the weird shit on my frame. I had no problem riding freestyle in my JMC, no problem.
Okay, so yeah, that's a pretty good answer. For me, it was always race, but you know, you make a good point, because what did we do when we weren't racing? Jumping, doing tricks,
hopping, dropping off ledges.
Yeah, everything was, I guess you could say, freestyle related when you weren't racing. I mean, even down to like who could do the longest wheelie. That's a good question, by the way. How are you with wheelies? I always suck at wheelies. You can do them?
Yeah.
All day long?
Not now, but back in the day, no problem, dude.
For real?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, I don't know what is wrong with me mentally, but I can't do a wheelie for past 50 yards maybe.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't do it. Front wheel always comes down. I go, every once in a while I get on a good roll. As a matter of fact, when we were kids, my cousin lived on this street where a lot of kids were riding bikes. And we would just see who could do the longest wheelie. And that was like the contest. But like somebody like you who could just sit down and just, were you a stand-up on doing wheelies or sit down?
No, sit down.
And you could just ride for days like that, huh? Yeah. So what keeps you from tipping or going down? Do you tap the brakes, or you just find your balance point?
You just find your balance, but you got the one finger on the lever, beep 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 beep. But yeah, dude, that's why I rode my seat high, lean back, and just you know. There was a guy that rode motorcycles called Doug DeMocus. He was the wheelie king, and we used to watch this guy. He was like the legend, and we used to emulate Doug DeMocus on our BMX bikes. There's a funny story that we share in our family, you know, around the Christmas table sometimes, where you know, this story happened before all of the. Obviously, this happened in like '81, where you know, before the big bikes and weaving out of traffic and all that stuff.
Right.
But there's a funny story about my brother. He was riding back from my friend Chris Fikes' house, and he was going down Fair Oaks Boulevard, which is the main thoroughfare through South Pasadena. And he was weaving. Well, he wasn't weaving, but he was kicking ass, dude. He was flying, and he was in a wheelie, and he was like going, and we would run red lights and shit. We never paid attention to red lights or don't walks. So he was going down, you know, going up, you know, the handicap driveways on the curb, and then he'd like jump off and in the wheelie and stuff like that. And the cops pulled him over, and he's the only one of us that got a ticket for speeding in a wheelie on a BMX bike.
For real, you got a ticket?
Yeah, you got a ticket for speeding or for reckless riding or whatever the case may be. Yeah, dude, that was his claim to fame. Dude, I got a ticket today for wheeling.
I know it's weird because doing a wheelie seems like the most basic trick that we all should know how to do, you know. And nowadays, it's like the trick. I mean, I don't know when it became so like mainstream with the big bike guy. They love it.
Ironically, on a motorcycle, I've never wheelied.
Really?
Right out of my mind on a dirt bike to wheelie. Never.
I've only ever ridden street bikes other than the Trail 90 that you had. I had the same bike, which is funny, by the way. But motorcycles have always intimidated me. You know what I had? I had a YSR 50, which was like that little Yamaha sport bike. You ever see one of those?
I think so, yeah.
I had one of those in the late 80s. And my friend, he used to race enduro motocross. And he goes, oh, let me check out your YSR, because it looked like a straight cafe racer. It was a badass little bike, right? And he got on it, and he got a wheelie on it. I'm like, how did you do that? It didn't have like a lot of torque, but he got it up.
It didn't have a clutch. It had a clutch.
It had working gears, yeah. But you had to like kickstart it. There was no electric starter on it. But dude, when you were like being short like me, when I'm riding on that thing and I was leaning forward, it felt like a motorcycle. For you, dude, it would be like a clown bike. You'd be like, that's pretty funny. All right, we got off topic. My bad, dude. Okay,
it's good.
Okay, we talked about pads. I said flight or California Lights. You said California Lights. Is it because of the availability of California Lights, or did you have?
It's because of the bullshit. The flight were the checkers, right?
Yeah, Flight did checkers. California Light did checkers too, but I think everybody did checkers at the time, you know. Yeah, but I think I've had both. I've owned both. I mean, but I went through a phase with checkers for a hot minute, and then I went right back to solid.
Yeah.
Pad.
So right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, did I ever tell you my checker pad story?
Yeah, we have it on tape.
Yeah, man, somebody stole all my pads. And here I am, dude. I'm 55, and I'm still pissed off. Somebody stole all my pads.
how they stole your pads on your bike was like leaning on the other side of the glass wall of the glass window. I have no idea. Like you were just like you must have been like checking out some girl or something, because how can someone walk up and just take your pads while you're sitting right there? That's hilarious.
We're playing Defender, so like.
Okay, all right, okay.
And I mean, every once in you do this number, make sure your bike is cool. And I looked once and I go, where are all my pads? And I was like, somebody was quick with it, dude.
You're just lucky they didn't take your whole bike, bro.
Yeah, because I've had
the whole bike.
One of these days we have to have a whole segment about stolen bike stories, because I think it's really interesting. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's an awesome. Yes.
Yeah. I got a couple of them, so I know you probably have a couple.
I have the ultimate story.
Oh yeah, let's save that one.
Okay.
All right, so we have. I said checkers or no checkers, and you said no checkers. So was it a fad thing for you too? Like, oh man, checkered bands, checkered pads, checkered. That's all. Yeah, it was just short-lived, huh?
Short-lived. I mean, I had checkered slip-ons like everybody else, but I grew out of that pretty fast.
Can you tell me the movie that had the first time you saw checkered bands?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, man.
I knew you were gonna know. Yeah, I remember he was hitting him. He's like, "That's my skull, dude."
Don't get us started on Phoebe Cates again, dude. I think we've been overboard on that one.
We will keep it PG tonight.
For anybody who wants to know what we're talking about, go to the Rail the Berm episode.
Yeah, man, Colin got out of control. I was like, I didn't need to know that, dude. That's funny.
I've attempted to clip that part of the video a couple times, and every time I clip it, I go, "No, I gotta delete it."
Yeah, we better keep it clean. It was funny as hell, though. I'll tell you that.
Funny as hell, dude.
All right, I said.
I've got nothing there. Here's Danny. Here's Danny. Oh.
Oh yeah, I did. I went, oh Jesus Christ! Did you really say that? Because when I do my videos, and I know I try to be respectful because this is your channel, so I really try to watch my language, and because we can get dinged on YouTube if we get too crazy, and the other channels they use whatever colorful language they want, but on mine I try not to do it, and then when I come on yours, same thing. I try not to, because I want people.
Dude, I have a foul mouth, but for some reason I'm okay on the podcast. I think I'm okay. I think I've slept once or twice, but I have the worst mouth of all my whole family.
Me too. I can get crazy too, but like on the podcast. I'm like, no, a lot of people are listening. I better keep.
You come off like the guy that went to a high school party and was like, "Hey guys, we can't drink. The cops are gonna show up anytime now." You seem like that guy.
Hey, if we grew up together, dude, I would have been your voice of reason. I would have been like, Kevin, do not stand up in the truck and throw lemons. You're going to get hurt. I would have been that dude.
Dude, so then the next day, but Miranda drops his and says that he stood up and threw rocks at guys out of the back of a pickup truck.
Yes, I heard that on the podcast, on their podcast. Yeah, that was funny.
Hey, I did that too. But my story dropped first, so I didn't copy him.
There you go. There you go. Okay, where did we leave off? Oh, Pat says, no, checkers. Okay, I said street tires or knobbies. Now, you're not a current racer, so you probably don't have much to compare it to, so that was an easy answer for you, right? Knobbies. I'm going to say this, man, and I think you and I touched on it before. I prefer Comp 3. I really do. These tires are great. They're fast, but I love the look, man, of that Comp 3 and that gum wall on the side, man. If you have a fresh set of Comp 3s on a set of chrome Araya 7X wheels, dude, that's cherry, right? It's hard to beat that.
Absolutely. And since you brought up the tires, dude, this wasn't planned for anybody watching. It wasn't like he's like feeding me stuff and I'm swinging. No, this just came up Dude, do you think that I look back at the ground control episode, and
right?
I think we went way too deep in the weeds on tires, man.
We did, because they were like, there's Comp 5s, Comp 6s, Comp 10s.
I'm like, dude, I can't believe we're going. I mean, we went way deep on tires.
Yeah.
Geometry. But people are watching it, but I just thought, man, dude, we went really deep on that. I just thought so.
But, I mean, the fact was, dude, I heard of Comp 3. Well, I mean, I heard of Comp 4s, but I thought it stopped there. I thought that was it. That's why I was like, wow, there was more.
and so did so did Ken. Ken thought
Ken was shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we said Mike Miranda, is he fast or is he stylish? Now, what I meant, he's both, obviously, but what I meant is he known for being fast or known for being stylish?
Stylish.
Yeah, I said this before, but the thing about Mike, yeah, he doesn't have the titles, but man, if I was a major manufacturer, I would definitely sponsor a dude like Mike. Because, dude, look at he's out there, man. He's showing off your product, and he's a decent racer too. It's not like he was a slug. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but if you open up BMX,
good jumper,
very good jumper, dude. Think about opening up BMX Action and seeing Mike just at Palmdale, just freaking so high in the air, and the pink leathers, dude, he was so cool.
Is this the U that they were talking about in the Gary Laurent episode and Salami? I don't know if you saw it or not.
I'm almost positive it's the same thing.
Gary Laurent was from Palmdale, and he was talking about the U, and I was like, wow, this place sounds legendary. I never saw that. And I think that he said that famous picture of Eric Roop when he's coming out up the hill, when he's tucked, that's the U. You know which picture I'm talking about?
Exactly. He's in the profile gear, and he's tucked. Yeah, that picture is epic, dude. Yeah, I love that picture.
I think that's the U.
Yeah, you're going to have to tag that when you edit. Okay, now, so yeah, I agreed with you on that one. I think Mike is very fast, but I think he's more known for being stylish, doing his thing. Okay, I said most 80s pros, steroids or clean? You said clean. Do you still stick to that?
I never even heard of steroids at BMX until Gary Hill brought it up. I mean, did you ever hear about anybody taking steroids in the 80s until Greg Hill brought it up?
Absolutely, dude. There was always rumors of people on steroids. It was like Pete Lonkarovich. There was rumors about Bonnie Anderson. I mean, I'm sure there was other pros. I don't want to say anything negative about those guys because they're all my heroes. But I'm just saying that was definitely a topic of discussion. Like steroids was a big thing, because these guys were getting massive. But for me, I look at it like this. All right, let's talk about Lance Armstrong for just a hot second. Get off topic really quick. So Lance gets busted. Yeah, he was lying. Yeah, he was using, he was using whatever he was using, performance enhancing drugs or whatever. But I think virtually everybody was using performance enhancing drugs. Do you really think he was cheating, or was he just kind of keeping up with everybody by using the performance enhancing drugs? Because I watched this movie about him one time, and when he was coming up, one of the riders told him, "You're never going to beat these guys. He's juicing, he's juicing, he's juicing." So it felt like he had no choice but to do it if he wanted to be one of the top riders ever. How do you feel about that?
I think his problem is he was so vehemently lied about it. I think that was his downfall. I think that's the problem. And
right.
I don't know. That's what personally I would have came out and said, yeah, okay, I did it. But easy to say if I'm not the one that did it.
But now BMX on the flip side, BMX is a smaller market. BMX is much smaller than professional cycling, right? So if let's go back for a second and say in the 80s we got 20 top contending pros, right? I'm just spitballing because I don't really know the number. If you have 20 top pros that are out there that can win a title and 5 of them are on steroids, it's absolutely not fair. And that's my, that's why I agree with Greg Hill on it, because there's not that many fish in the pond, dude. And if some of them are on juice, then yeah, it's definitely an unfair advantage. But I don't know. These are just me just speaking my thoughts. Don't know any facts.
I never even heard people. No.
Yeah, well, I
didn't even know people smoked over the track, dude. So that's how oblivious I am.
That one really caught me off guard too, because I don't remember smelling weed at the track. But when I was at Frogtown, I absolutely smelled it.
Really?
I was riding around. I go, man, someone's smoking the devil's lettuce out here.
I could barely talk, alone ride a bike if I was high.
Yeah, it happens. I know it. All right, so we got past the steroids things. Now we're going to the brother questions. I said, Anderson brothers or Patterson brothers? And you kind of stalled on that one for a minute. And you picked Patterson brothers. What was that?
Yeah. I said Patterson brothers because I followed the Patterson brothers more back in the day than I followed the Anderson brothers. I don't know. They just seemed like they were more closely aligned. It seemed like they were closer in ability, and it seemed like they were always in the same picture.
Yeah.
And Richie and Ronnie, both fast, both Hall of Famers, but they didn't rate. I mean, I don't remember being in the same picture. I don't remember them being aligned. It was almost like the Pattersons were they were 1-2, like a 1-2 punch from a boxer, and that's why I picked the Pattersons.
I like the Patterson's answer as well. I'm not, because Richie Anderson's probably the greatest amateur ever, right? And he was a great pro. And Ronnie Anderson's got a national title. He was definitely a great pro. But if you look at the Patterson brothers, Brent and Brian both won pro titles, and they raced for the same team the entire time, their own company. So not only were they successful as pros, but the company ran the whole duration of their pro career, which is actually really impressive. Because what happened to Patterson when they retired? That's a wrap, right? Yeah. So anyway,
however, I seem to align with Ronnie a little bit more than the Pattersons. I think the Pattersons were like we're talking shit, dude. It's gonna get back to them, dude. We're never gonna have, but they were like you, like a goody two shoe type of do the right thing type of thing. Where I kind of look at the dark side, like Ronnie and that type of thing.
So you're saying they were clean cut versus
a little dirty.
You got the bad boys versus the clean cut. Yeah, there you go. What was that? Hey, what was it in that movie, The Outsiders? It was the greasers and the how do you say it?
Soch.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I guess that's a good comparison for that.
They're preppies.
There you go.
Yeah, but they call them Soches in the movie.
That's it. All right, that's a great movie, by the way. I need to revisit that.
Yep.
Okay, I went to another set of brothers after that. I said King brothers versus Root brothers. and then you picked King Brothers, which I did too, because not that the Root Brothers aren't great. Eric is one of the greatest racers ever, and still racing. But Robbie kind of faded out after a while, where Mike and Eddie stayed in the limelight like the entire time. I think that's why I would have picked them too.
You said it. I agree with you. I couldn't tell you who Robbie rode for. Who do you ride for?
He was on MT Racing. I know that. I remember seeing him. Yeah.
Really?
I saw him testing. I remember him testing a bike specifically. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for these magazines. Otherwise, I wouldn't know, man. Because I read them over and over and over and over. All right. This one I asked you incorrectly, so I'm going to correct myself now. I said CW or GT. You just said GT. But I meant to say which bars from the 80s, CW or GT.
GT.
It wouldn't change, right?
No.
Okay. CW handlebars were super popular, but man, so was GT handlebars, right? And I think what was that now?
Super ugly. Yeah.
You didn't like the CW bars?
No.
Man, dude, I don't understand how you didn't like that era with the CW bars with the 09 plate wrapped around the top, dude. Dope.
The 09 plate's fine. It's the bars. Now, don't get me wrong, dude. My brother and all of my buddies, they all had CW bars. I get it. Totally understand it. But I'm more of a guy that likes to buck like a flout convention a little bit. I like to go against the grain.
There you go. GT bars are sick though. And I think they were awesome. What was that?
They're big.
Oh, they are big. Yeah, they're tall. They were definitely. I think I showed you a picture in a magazine. And go, damn, look at the rise on those things.
Yeah.
They're like really up there. Okay, so the next question was cranks. I said redline flights or profile, and you said profile. And you're not even a three-piece crank guy, so it's kind of a tough one for you. But why did you pick profile?
I might change that. I don't know. I mean, I'll go to redline. I think the guys that rode profiles were dicks.
I rode profiles.
You're the one exception. No, yeah, I just felt like the guys that rode profile thought their shit didn't stick, man.
Yeah, but I love red line flights, dude. There's a pair of red line flights right behind me. I love red line flights, man.
I think even though I've been critical of redline and some of the redline products in the past, redline flight cranks were the working man's crank.
And they were beautiful, dude. They make any bike. Look, let me put it this way. Say you have your quad angle all built up, and you have a nice set of one-piece cranks with a power disc on it. It's going to look good, right? But now picture that same bike with a set of red line flights on it.
Right.
Boom! It just raised up the level of that bike like tenfold. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how I felt about red line.
Yes, I agree with you.
All right, so
they gotta be chrome. They can't be white or none of the other weird ass colors. They got to be chrome.
Chrome. I love chrome cranks, dude. Yeah. I'm probably going to put chrome cranks on my PK Ripper. Because I just love chrome cranks. Okay, so the next question was jumps. I said tabletops or doubles. You picked doubles. So what was your motivation behind that?
I couldn't tabletop, but I could go large.
Well, no. So think of it this way. I'm asking, do you prefer to jump over a tabletop or prefer to jump a set of doubles? That's where I was heading.
I still go with doubles.
Still with doubles, okay. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion. Doubles scared the hell out of me until I nutted up and did them. Once I got the guts to do it and I can clear them, loved them. But that first initial, man, can I jump that? That used to scare the crap out of me when I was a teenager, man. I don't know about you. Or were you more of a, F it, let me just freaking launch it? Did you have to?
I was jumping cars before I even raced.
Oh, then doubles was nothing, huh?
Well, jumping was not my problem. I could jump a lot. I could jump. So that's one of the reasons why I thought I was going to win my first race. Because I was like, I'm jumping all kinds. I'm jumping picnic tables and cars and all this stuff. I should be able to do the problem. But yeah, no doubles, a big set of nasty doubles. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I'll tell you a quick story about some doubles, man. It was like 1985. My mom used to take me to races like Friday, Saturday night, like clockwork. And she took me to this race Friday night, same local track. And there was one, like a tabletop for the first jump. Then you went down. Then you went through the first turn. And then there was like a little speed jump over the first turn, and then you would head towards the next turn. All of a sudden, one day, when you were heading to that second turn, they put a set of doubles there. And they were pretty peaky doubles. And I was riding through them. And I remember I was in my motos, Moto 1, Moto 2, had the whole shot. Every time I had to slow down so I could ride through the doubles, and I kept getting past. And my mom, always being super cautious and didn't want me to get hurt, but even my mom told me, dude, Kevin, she said, if you don't jump those, you are going to lose every weekend. And I'm like, okay. So it was like the third round. I came around and I just hit him. I just launched him, and it just, dude, doesn't it feel, when you do it right, it's like hitting a golf ball perfectly. That's the only way I can describe it.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you don't even feel, it's just so smooth. And I was like, oh, that was awesome. But yeah, like I said, yeah, I think I would say tabletops would take no fear, but doubles were more fun. Yeah.
So my double story is the only national I raced in the United States was the Burbank Jag World Championships, 83 December, I think.
Okay.
And they had, I was a beginner, but I was a good beginner. I was not a real beginner. I was a good beginner.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was jumping big stuff.
Right.
But, and they had these peaky doubles. Big.
Yeah.
Doubles, dude. And I never could nut up and do them, man. I had jumped probably 3 times that length in my life, but they were so peaky, they were so steep. I never did do them. So if anybody that watches this was at the Jag World Championships at Burbank, you know which set of doubles I'm talking about. Yeah,
man, that's great. You didn't jump them, huh? Did you just ride over them?
I rode over them. My brother jumped them.
Yeah. Wow. Did he give you a lot of crap for that? He's like, I jumped him. You didn't. You know.
Yeah. 2 years younger than me. Sick. Man.
That's all right, man. We all did it.
He won his first race by like 25 bike lengths, dude. I mean, he should have won the national, but he crashed. Another story.
Yeah. I don't have a brother, but I have my cousin James and my cousin Eric. They were like my brothers, and I have so many similar stories that we'll talk about that on another one.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So my next one was open face helmets or full face helmets. That was the easy one. You went open. You didn't even think about that.
Fucking, look, I'm saying, I just cussed, dude.
Yeah.
I hate full face helmets, dude. I hate them.
And you have one. You bought a Fly full face helmet.
Yeah, it's right there. But I would not be caught dead on the track with anything but an Echo open face helmet with my visor pinned all the way up. Yeah,
what is it about the full face helmet that became so popular when I know it was?
We're denying people this face, dude. That's what it was. I had to project.
No, but dude, I look at, like, I could give you my opinion. Okay, it was probably late 90s. John Purse is on the rise, right? John Purse on Factory Redline. He starts wearing a full face Bell helmet. And I thought to myself, it's kind of strange to see a pro running a full face helmet when anybody who wore a full face helmet prior to that, we kind of looked at them as novices or beginners because they just thought they had to wear full face helmets. And so when he came out with that, I'm like, well, that's never going to really catch on. Although it looks cool, but it's just too heavy, right? But now look at it, man. I have a couple full face helmets. Obviously, I have an open face. I showed you on a couple shows ago. But I don't know, man. They look cool, but I don't like my face being covered like that. I feel like I can't breathe. I don't know how you feel about that.
You got it right. But you know what's even worse than a full face helmet?
What's that?
A bubble visor, dude. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
A bubble visor is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life, dude. Poor Stu had to ride a bubble visor. It had to have been a sponsorship thing or whatever.
Yeah.
The ugliest visors ever designed, dude. Period. I hate bubble visors.
Bubble visors, I think they just come with the helmet. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah.
It's like a chain guard on a bike. It just comes with the bike, man.
Yeah. But things evolve, obviously. But but I it was weird because I remember a time where I was always using the 3 snaps, and then Troy Lee came out with that visor that you can kind of screw into your helmet, and it changed the look of your helmet. And I experimented with that, but I went back to the snaps because I'm like, I think the snaps look cooler. You know what I mean? But now it's just all gone. It's just history now.
Granted, when you ride your full face, you got your visor up? Yeah.
I can adjust it. I can make it go up and down.
I still got to have my visor up, dude. Like, I can never run it straight out. No,
mine goes, you have to loosen the screws, and then you can lift it up a little bit and then tighten it down. So I still run it a little bit higher. But, man, I mean, I know it looks cool and everybody runs them, but I'm like, some days, man, when it's hot outside, I'm like, golly, I feel like a freaking stormtrooper with this thing on. I can't catch my breath. All right, man, so let's keep going. So we're on the jumps. We went to the helmets. Oh, I said dirt turns versus paved turns, and you picked dirt turns. So, you've ridden pump tracks, so you've been on paved turns. So why would you prefer a dirt turn?
Just because the era, 80s.
You just like the
80s? Yeah.
I can tell you why I like dirt turns, man. I love to see the dirt flying behind your bike when you're railing a berm, dude. It looks sick, dude. If you're railing a berm and there's a dirt trail behind you, that is awesome.
You're looking from a picture. You're not turning around looking at behind you, right?
No, maybe just a photo. But if you're just watching a race,
okay.
Me, it's visually pleasing to see that dust flying when they're going through those turns. I think it's awesome, right? Yeah. I mean, paved turns also have their coolness because they're going so freaking fast, right? But at the same time, I don't know, I love that dirt flying. But racing on a paved turn, yeah, you feel a little more confident because you're not going to slide out as easy when you're going through a paved turn. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah,
so I said we're getting down to the last two, Kev. I said tough wheels versus Z rims. You went Z rims on that one. You want to stick to that?
Yeah, dude. I absolutely loved my Z rims, dude. And I know that Z rims get a lot of flack. People said that, I don't remember the spokes loosening. I don't remember bending them. They were just rugged for me. I liked them. I did some of my gnarliest shit on Z rims.
Yeah.
So that's why I have no problem with Z rims. I never rode tough wheels. I thought tough wheels were. See, I'm gonna say something, dude, and I'm gonna get in trouble. Oh, I always thought that when I saw a tough wheel, I just automatically thought Schwinn Scrambler.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it was, dude. Like, I can't ride that. It's a Schwinn Mag Scrambler wheel. I know in the grand scheme of things, they weren't. I get that. But when I'm 14, 15, 16 years old, I look at that, I go, that's a Mag Scrambler wheel. I'm not riding that on my bike.
You dropped a short today, and I told you, we were talking about what factory teams we'd want to be on.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to it today, and I go, oh, Skyway, factory Skyway, because they're red, white, and blue with the black graphites, and those guys were all hanging out together. I just thought that looked epic. Now, was it as functional as a spoked wheel? Probably not. But, man, it looks awesome, right? That was just my opinion on it.
It looks awesome when Andy Patterson's on them. Yes.
Yeah. Or Richie. Richie made tough wheels look. I don't know, man. You can't. He's the poster boy for tough wheels, man. Richie represented that well, man. Yeah. The Skyway product, yeah.
I was more of an Andy Patterson fan, but yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andy Patterson on tough wheels, Andy can make almost anything look good, including tough wheels.
I agree with that, man, because any photo with Andy on tough wheels looked amazing, and I can picture him on a JMC with rims, and it didn't look right to me because I'm so used to seeing him on tough wheels. You know what I mean?
I hate to admit it, you're right, dude. It does look it does look kind of weird when he's not on tough wheels. I agree. Same with Ricky for that matter. It does look a little weird.
Yeah, when you see those two guys on rims, you're like, why are you on rims? That doesn't even look right. That's messing up my whole universe, dude.
Yeah, there's a disturbance in the force.
There you go. All right, man. Last one. I said free wheels versus coaster brakes, and you really hesitated on that one, man.
I mean, obviously, my early year. I mean, did they even have coaster brakes when you started racing or riding?
Yeah, I mean, my first early bikes had coaster brakes, but when I got serious about racing, then coaster brakes were gone. It was just, I think for me, coaster brakes are more a nostalgic way of how I felt when I was a little kid, and we would be riding in front of my grandmother's house. There was a lot of sidewalk, and we'd slam that coaster brake, and it would squeal the tires like a car, and that was a good part of my childhood.
Your parents come out, I'm not buying you another tire, Mom. I got a flat.
Yeah, we get in trouble for marking up the sidewalk, because slamming it on.
Do it in the street, not on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that was the one thing about coaster brakes you can't emulate so easily with a handbrake, because the early handbrakes, let's face it, dude, they weren't. Their stopping power was not as good as a coaster brake. A coaster brake is just way better. But I mean, a free wheel is the most logical way to go. Obviously, it's lighter, it's faster. Obviously, you're going to want to use free wheel. Plus, a set of handbrakes makes your bike look super trick. At least I always thought it did.
And I never could. Ironically, we talked about wheeling.
Yeah.
I don't remember wheeling a coaster brake. I know it's possible. I know that a lot of guys really can wheelie coaster brakes. But yeah. I don't remember wheeling a coaster brake bike. I may have. But it was free wheels, so that's one of the major reasons why I'd say free wheel too, for the wheeling factor.
There you go. Well, my brother, that's all I got tonight, man. We did it.